Alright guys, so let's go and make a new prediction for next week. Quick recap, last prediction was that this was the close on Friday. I thought that the buyers would come and there was a signal for a bullish sign, but they gapped down and immediately came in. So the movement was correct. The entry point was a little bit off. But there was an indication that if we're gonna see a break, we're gonna see a fall down to the 505, 506. Didn't hit it. I think it stopped at 508, yes, and from there it find the buyers and move for the upside. So basically across the board, this was the movement. So for now, what's gonna be next week? Will we see a continuation for the upside? Is it the end of the bearish trend, or is it just a pullback from the start of the bearish trend? So we can see if we go for the weekly. Let's start from the weekly. See how the weekly ends. Very bullishy, very green, nice strong green candle. And if we try to imagine it like this one, you can see what happened. It started to move back up very strong. But what is the difference? The difference is this bullish came from the middle and closed a little bit above this red weekend. And this one basically just closed the gap. So if we can look at it that if this is the high, lower high, lower high, this is a lower high. This is the low, lower low, lower low, lower low. So even though we have a very bullish candle, we are still in a downtrend. Didn't break the downtrend. This one, what it did, this is a break of a downtrend because it created a higher high and also has a lower high. This one, not. So not that good. But what is good, that we see a start of a divergence. It didn't finish yet. We need maybe another green candle to cross above and make it a bullish sign, because this is obviously a lower low, this is higher low, but we don't have a clear sign. So there are still a very let's say sign that if there's gonna be a red week or even 2 weeks and we break the 494, we break the divergence, and then we definitely gonna see a move for the downside, because this will be a sign of break of the trend, because something like this will be a break of the trend because it will make a lower low. So even if it will make a push higher, probably the sellers will immediately, let's say here, someplace here, re-entered and push the market for its next level. So this is what I see in the weekly. Also, I draw there a sign of a break, and we got the break. What wasn't that good, we got the break on a green candle. All right, so there is a break. So this is a very risky sign. So be careful, even if we see a very green candle. Let's go back for the daily. So basically we close the gap. There is still a gap up from above, which I can assume that we're gonna see it even open higher and then immediately fell off. Very need to watch it. But if we see a close above this candle, most of the time it will try to close the gap in even spike higher, let's say for the 550 area, right? So let's move on the 4-hour chart. We can see a more what happened inside the candle. We had a gap down, immediately closed the gap, rejected from this red line, and the rejection was broken, so it became a support, but the trend didn't change. I can assume that if again we're gonna see it move above here, it will continue to those area, try to close those gap. We have a gap here at the 543, and my indicator tell me that if you're gonna see a push for the upside, the end target is the 548 area and can even spike for the 550. Right, so it can even do a spike and immediately get rejected. So it seems that it can be bullishy. Now, we can see here this is 90, let's say again, let's check 90, 90, 53, 90, 90, 53. This one, 90, 95, 93. And this is what I was afraid of. Any move for the upside will bring the sellers. We have a short continuation. Short continuation, the price makes lower highs and this indicator giving us a sign of higher highs. It means that it has no power to move on and can push for the downside. The push doesn't mean that it wants to break. It can. My end target is again the 505 to see what happened there. But we don't have, you can say we have a sign, but let's say if it moves below this one, you can say it wants to move lower. And what happened that on Friday we don't see enough volume. So imagine that we're gonna see here rejection. You're gonna see a nice volume. And then on the bullish size, don't see enough volume. The volume this is moving up and the volume moving down. So again, another divergence. You want to see on the move for the upside more interesting, like here, right? This is, it was open here, it moved down, bring the buyers, and you see the volume, right? You don't get it here. What you see, move for the upside, basically a divergence. So less and less buyers are interested, which means that it can bring the sellers to the party. So the question is where the seller is going to attack. Again, I think they're going to attack here. There is a lot of resistance at the 540, 543, 545. My end target for the move for the upside is the 548. And I think it has the power to reach there. This is the $1,000,000 question. Let's see. I think there is a little bit power to push. And you know what? Let's go for the 1-hour chart and see there. You can see the 200 on the 1-hour chart, 200 resistance. You can see a rejection with a tail from above. So probably if we're going to see another tail, you can push lower. So basically, what I can see that this is the break of the trend. This is the retest, and now the start of the move for the downside. But it moves up, push down, didn't create anything, so it's still on move for the upside. And I know a lot of players look at it, something like this one. So basically a flag, right? They're looking at it and a flag. So if it crosses here below, move up. If it closes above, this is a sign of resuming the trend for the upside. All right, look at it here. Something like this one. This is a move, something like this one. This is the move. So you have flag, a break, and see, this is not, this is just in a middle candle and immediately open below, but even though this is a sign of a flag, so if it crosses below, you can move another leg for the downside and attack this low. So far, I can see the move for the upside. I can see the strength. I have some sign of short continuation in the longer term. So need to be careful because you can see it here. Even if it will try to attack higher and move with the momentum which is getting weaker, eventually the sellers will come and push it lower. All right, so I think it will push for the upside and then get rejected. Let's check what we see here. Broke it, so this is now, and also it make a divergence for the upside. So it's now going to be a big fight between the sellers and the buyers. Because sellers will come here from this area, and the buyers will try to break this area, the 555, in order to push for the upside. So be very careful in the short term, less risky. In the longer term, do I think this is the bottom? Still in, let's say, I don't know. There is not enough evidence to give a sign for this is the end of the push for the downside. So let's move for the Qs, because last 2 weeks the Qs were the leader. Again with the Qs is more volatile. You see it here, it didn't break. If it was touched here, it was a bad sign. And I think it will push for the 454. You know what, this red line, because I'm looking at other charts. And from there the sellers will come. Again, you can see here the volume lower, lower, lower. Any move for the upside will definitely create divergence for the downside, and the buyers know that, so probably another push for the downside. We look at it here, magically touch our key level, even spike it lower. You see this was a big volatile spike, but it didn't close, so and now push again, resting here. Didn't broke it, so I think we're gonna see the sellers come. And let me check if 94.90, 94. There is no divergence, so probably another push then for the downside. What we have here, all divergence. So any move for the upside definitely will bring the sellers, unless, I don't know, there is massive volume of buyers gonna attack this for 475. The end zone for the Qs for the move for the upside, the 470, and I doubt it if it will push that high, because if it do, this is the low. We are gonna be very bullish again. So same with the Qs, the SPY. If we attack the 550, 555 and break and close above, we'll push higher for its next level. But so far, because the gap down and closing the gap, and there are still a few gaps from above, if the sellers want to push lower, they usually want to close some gaps, reposition themselves with a better entry, then push the market for the downside. And as we saw it here, let's move here. see it here. This is the bullish trend, and this is a break of the trend, retest and moving down. So this is the first leg. Usually there gonna be a second leg here, probably retest it here. And I know people may be looking for the 400 in the Qs. So in the longer term, I'm a little bit pessimistic, but in the short term, I can see the momentum pushing a little bit above for the upside and then breaking below. For investment, what would I do? I think I said it in the last video. The push for the downside give a nice area for buyers to average down. This was a on the Qs. In the Qs there was 10%, I think. Yeah, move for the downside. Yes, 500, yeah, 10% move down. At the SPY, 6%. This is a good area for buyers just to average down their investment. Doesn't mean that the Qs can fall 20%. Yes, and again, it will be a good opportunity for buyers to average down their investment. Do I think this is the end? Not yet. More about because of the fundamental, because there's going to be interest rate cut September, and if it's going to be 0.5%, it will definitely mean that the market is in bad position. The economic is in a bad position, and it's going to push down the market. Quarter 1.25 in the middle. I don't know. IWM. Again, IWM. False break, move down here, boom, push for the downside, and this one break the trend. This is a trend for that. This is a break, and this is why I don't like in the small caps. Small caps are very weak, very red. So it broke the trend, push for the upside. See this red candle. So if I had to judge, the sellers are much stronger than the buyers. And you can see this is a low volume and a big candle. This is a divergence in the candle. Could be a good sign for the buyers. But if let's go for the weekly, see how it looks. Big red candle, terrifying big red candle. This is just, let's say, stress release. So immediately the cam and probably gonna see continuation for the downside. We look at it on the 4-hour chart, very bearishy. Needs to push a little bit up. Probably can struggle. There is a short, definitely a short continuation. So below the 205 closing and push for the downside again. Doesn't look that good. Again, all the market do the bearish flag. So if it push above it 210, can push for the upside, but the Russell IWM, be very careful with it. I know lots of analysts are very bullish on the longer term to reach to the 250, even 300, but I don't like it because you can see it here. Reject, 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 false break in the middle, and a big false break. I don't like it. So I can see it trying to move because this is already, it broke it, it took out, but probably there are lots of sellers there. You can see this is area of sellers. So it tried to squeeze them, immediately fell down, so it needs to bring more buyers to the party. But I think it will push down again to this support area, and from there try to bring and squeeze out all the short squeeze here, and then try to push for the upside. So not yet the move for the upside. Let's try to make it more quick. I know I talked last week. Let's say the XLP. Let's see how it looks on the longer term. here. So this is consume staples. See how it looks. Very defensive, and you see this is the weekly. Buyers coming in. They moving for defensive mode, but again, divergence. So the second move here is very weak. So probably gonna see as soon, let's say, rejected from the 80 and to move down, bring more buyers in order to break. If we look at the XLU utility, let's see how it looks. Again, this is a nice rejection zone, but this is stronger. This is a divergence for continuation, a defensive with continuation. XLV, I think it is the healthcare. Yep, strong again, big volume coming in. Some small divergence, but we need a sign. We don't have the sign yet for the move for the downside. I get here the real estate ETF still strong. So we see a lot of money movement shift from, let's say, the tech, the basics, which is more defensive. Let's look at the TLT, how the market sees them. Let's make it bigger. This was a downtrend. The downtrend didn't break yet. We need to break it here. It didn't. It tried. Immediately got rejected with a big volume. So buyers are interested because they know that in September they're going to be a red cut. Red cut will push it higher, but they are still not decisive whether the market's going to be strong or weak. This is the reason, but I think it definitely will push on the longer term. You probably can do a move, let's say for the 120, or I think the 130, let's say here, the 140, a nice push with it on the longer term, guys. Probably people wait for it for the 135. I think it's gonna hit the 140 at the end of the zone. But this is a very long term. You need to be very patient. Let's look at it on the short term bonds. Same goes here. It tried to break. It already broke it here, broke it here. So on the short, we are still a little bit above. Again, you can see the big volume of rejection, but it will bring more buyers, I think. So more defensive market. Let's move for Tesla, guys. Tesla on the weekly, what it did, break for the downside, try to be positive and stay above the 200 in order, because if it was moving more down, Tesla will break the 100. Doesn't look that good. But at the moment, I'm positive with Tesla. It needs to, let's say, if it's open with a gap up 202, let's move for the daily. If it's moved for the above the 202, I can see and closed above it. I can see it push it again for the 230 and the end zone at 225, the end zone, and then from there try to look what it wants to do. But so far, because there was a break here and a break of support, I think it's want to push here for the downs. Yes. So it hits the 188 zone, it spiked it lower and then rested. Market moves for the upside here for the red. Tesla didn't. And this is a good sign because the buyers know that if it will try to attack the higher, eventually all the short sellers and sellers just will come in, push it lower. So it tries to preserve some power and to see how the market reacts in order to push for the upside. But so far, I think it will try to attack this zone again and then decide what to do. Let me check something. So 202, moving for the 205. If it breaks the 205 a little bit, it will push for the upside for the 215 to 25, let's say, area. What the trend is, I can see it bullishy. Yeah, I can see it bullishy. Could spike lower, but I can see it bullishy. I know there is a lot of sellers up from above. I think it will come again, retest for this zone for Tesla. Before, I don't know if it can, if we wanted to push for the downside, it need to close below the 194, 193. This area, it close below, it can push lower, 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 and I don't like it. And if it will push lower, won't be good. Let me check something. It will push lower. I don't know. It can break the 140. And I know lots of sellers will wait for it and lots of buyers won't let it happen. So maybe this is the reason why I'm a little bit bullish on Tesla. Because I don't think the buyers will let it come for below the 140, because below this one there is what? The 100? Crazy. What do we have below this one? We have this area. I don't know if this is a big distribution. Not that good. Apple, let's try to be more quick. Apple, big break for the downside. Fine from this support area. The buyers, green, 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 probably try to close the gap here, the 218. And I don't know if they will create a divergence, but any continuation for the move outside definitely will bring the sellers into the house and probably for a retest. So it can be the end of the move for downside for Apple. It can push up a little bit down and then break for the upside. We look at it here, we can see the divergence. We talked about it. So move for the upside, but now it creates divergence for the downside. So this is 90, 13, yeah, 95. Can hit a little bit here and then retest. And on the retest, we need to see if the bars will recommit. See here the tail, if it will break it, it will fall more to the downside. At the moment, I can see it move a little bit up and then rejected with a short continuation. We don't see it in all time frame. Let me check it here. What we see here is then 996. So no divergence, so continuation. Doesn't give much sign. Probably, yeah, probably want to close the gap and then decide what to do. We are still in a downtrend in the short term. See, this is a downtrend, didn't break it, needs to break here. NVIDIA. Go here. With NVIDIA, more volatile, more break, more bearish momentum. Doesn't look that good. Let's see. Usually you can see it here when it break it, a lot of buyer coming in. So probably this area will bring a lot of buyers, guys. Because in the longer term, NVIDIA is positive. Not now. I know many people got hurt from the 140 for the 100. This is, yeah, this is hurt. And any move for the upside, you can see it here, will create divergence. Usually it gets rejected from the 50. We look at it here. There is still no finish of divergence, which is good because if it was bearish, push the market for the downside. So I think it will move down, bring more buyers in order to break this area. And it needs a lot of buyers in order to break the 120. Click on the 1 hour chart, see something special there. No, there. Yes, here, this is the divergence. a small divergence for the downside, but you can see this is a move down and preserving. So if it crosses below the 20, so if it breaks it here for the downside, and I think it wants to push for the 101, 50, and the 100, and if the buyers won't come, we'll fall because this is a short continuation, small one. You see this is making lower high, this is higher highs, so it can push a little bit up and then move down. Meta was it interesting? Meta was interesting. Nothing basically. Move down, up. All right. So now you will want to see what happened. This is short continuation, didn't finish yet. So it needs to break this area. If it will continue, boom. And it can push the market because it can give a good sign for the market. If we look at it here, see the change in the trend. The only stock I think I was watching that trend changed positive. And you can see even the momentum is positive. This is on the 1 hour chart. This is the rejection. So let's see if it can break it and push for the upside. You can do so. And you have the clear sign if it won't below the 510 falling down. So nothing much to say there. Of course, in any scenario there is two possibilities, up or down. Here it's very clear that because you are very close for the decision area, you just want to wait to see who wins. If the buyers will win, they will break it and push for the upside and join them. If the sellers win, and again we're gonna see a nice red candle and a break below here, you're gonna see a move for the down. So why to gamble? You don't need to gamble here. And we have some sign of divergence for the down. So we just wait to see who is winning and on the timing and then join. mRNA broke the trend, now is resting. This is a bear flag, obvious bear flag. You can see here, this is again a bear flag which broke. Same with the market, so be very careful with mRNA. Very bearishy. I don't want to join it on a bullish, even though you can see this is probably pressure to close the gap, so you can intraday maybe join the momentum. But at the moment, you don't have basically entry. Any move for the upside will bring a lot of sellers. So why to gamble? Just here, no divergence. So any move, any green candle will create a divergence, obviously. So be very careful here. None. Again, here, if it fail, I think it will manage to do it and push and create another reversal. So wait, probably another reversal, small one, the intraday. BA. Again, BA, the sideways move below, trending down, no divergence, continuation. If we look at it on the 4 hour chart, you can see the divergence there, obviously. So I think it moved here. If it breaks and close below, it will push down here on the intraday if you want to take it. To break the 160 can be interesting. Let me check here. Break the 160, you can see what happened there. Buyer scam. So probably gonna be very difficult. Probably it's want to more upside, bring more sellers in order to break the 160. You can see it was very close and immediately get bought. So probably feeling the lots of buying power on the 160. And I don't know if it's gonna break, but because in order to break it needs to bring a lot of short sellers in order to break it. Why not just to move up and enter with a short size and make the buyers afraid and move out instead to fight them. So at the moment, short continuation, be very careful with it. You can do another push and then enter for the short side. So be careful for it. Let's get it on the 1 hour chart, not yet. And clear it here. So yeah, break below the 167, go the 165, and can even push a bit 163. Because this is the zone of the flag. I don't like to trend sideways. Maybe on intraday, but in longer term, I don't like it because it can break for the upside or break for the downside, and this is basically all the market is the same move. Gold. Gold, positive, yeah, positive sideways, still positive. I'm positive about it for the longer term. See the divergence, try to push failed because they want to break the 230 without getting divergence, so bring more buyers. I'm a little bit pessimistic about it in the short term. Maybe try to bring again the buyers from the 220 to 280 and then push for the upside. In the longer term, positive about it. Silver a little bit less. You see it here, the gold at the upside, the silver is at the downside, but I think it will bring the buyers here. You can see it. Shoulder, head, shoulder, so this is a reverse southern shoulder, so and also broke it, so I can see the push for the upside now, and with the gold at the moment there is no change in trend, so be very careful. You want to wait and see the confirmation. There is a no short continuation, which is good, so they know they shouldn't quit. There is a divergence for a pullback. So then this is not a change in trend, just another push for the upside, which is good. If we look at it here, this is the gap, but I don't look at gap at silvers and gold. And yeah, I think there will be a pullback. Oxy. Oxy was a nice prediction, but why didn't hit the 53? Why? Look at it here. I wanted to hit here again. Lots of buys come from any price action. It got rejected, red sign, short continuation. Below this one, another push, another leg, and I hope that this leg will hit the 54, 50, 60. This is the end zone. At the moment, look that the momentum is changing, looking up, looking up, looking up. Maybe small change, the short term. But I'm a little bit pessimistic about it, that it still wants to go the downside. Didn't give a clear sign. If it closed below the 58 and closed with the red sign, it will push for the 57 and from then probably break for the downside. At the moment, it didn't change the trend. You can see the trend is down, down, didn't change. It needs to break it here. So be patient if you want to take it for the long side. So you know what? Dollars. People ask me to talk about the dollar. Yes, this is dollar index. So let's look at it. It might take some time. Oh wow, I didn't talk about while. I think the last time I talked about it was here at the end of May. We can watch it up, down, rejected. This was a sign for moving a want to the downside. Final push and got rejected. So far I just got bought from the 102 round number. It's okay, and it's also a support area, also okay. What do we have here? Some sort of divergence of continuation. Same goes with the flag here. So breaking below the 102.70, continue another leg for the downside. If it will try to move for the upside and failed can create divergence, side divergence. At the 4-hour chart, you can see it here, immediately got rejected. Is a divergence for the moving for the upside, trying to create the second divergence, and I think it will. If it closes above the 103 with the grid, can push for this area for the 200 again, and from there got rejected, can be rejected again. So far I'm bearish, guys. Let's try to sum it up, because I think we're a little bit in a problem to be more precise on this prediction. Momentum is down. The trend is down. Momentum try to be positive, but any move for the upside we already saw create divergences for the downside. So any open from with a gap down can immediately bring a lot of sellers. In the smaller time frame, I can the move for a little bit for the upside before the sellers intervene, but when they get hit at the 545, 543, 548 area, they can spike it. They will, and then the big fight will begin. At the moment, do I think they will immediately fight it? There is a possibility, because I don't see the volume. And there is a divergence. And there is a sign of it wanting to clear it. So below this one, can push for the downside again. Most of the stock created a bear flag, and with bear flag you have to be careful, because you can see it here. This is a bear flag. So what happened? It broke it and pushed for the upside. All right. So not any bear flag immediately creating a move for the downside, but at the moment the difference is, make it smaller. The difference is that it was much deeper pullback, and I think this is the first push, and probably we're gonna see a second push for the downside. And this is a good sign. On the weekly, this is a good sign. Guys, on the weekly, this is the first push, and this area is the second push. And from there to attack the 600 red one. Because you know what? Let's take Fibonacci. Let's say from here. Oh, it's let me check something. I need to stop it from snap mode. What happened? Let's say from the 470. All right. The potential, because it will bring lots more of buyers, and it definitely create divergence on the much bigger time frame, not on the smaller time frame like we have now on the 4-hour chart and the 1-hour chart. This is boring. I want to be more secure, the push for the upside like we had it here. All right, this is, you can see it here, 1 2 1 2, or you can say it 1, this is the 2. You can say this is the second push with divergence for a pullback. This is divergence for a pullback. This is creating and breaking here. You can see this is a break, this is a break, this is a break. What we had, push for the upside and push here again, and then this is the second wave. This is the biggest wave usually, the elite wave. The first, second is the biggest, and the third is the smallest usually. And from there we have the change trend. This is the biggest wave, third wave, and zooming. All right. So this correction can be good for the market. Give him enough of time to bring more buyers, to raise some power. There is a reason why the money moving for the TLT and the PXLU and the real estate, because they are more defensive, more secure, and even for the gold. So in the short term, I can see it push a little bit higher and from there get rejected. The long term, I can still see it in the bearish trend moving for the downside, but I don't have any indication for it yet for the beginning of the second pullback. So I will be waiting. In order to coming back for the bullish trend, we need it to close to turn to blue, probably to clear the 545 and even 555 period here. Do a second retest and then going for the upside. At the moment, we are still in a bearish trend, guys. Small bearish trend, but still in bearish. So be very careful. So this is it. Hope it helps. If you like it, subscribe and thumbs up. If you want to analyze stocks, just tell me in the channel. Thank you guys. Bye.